Hello everyone and welcome to Not Our Podcast, where my chaotic friends and I share our thoughts and experiences about uni life, interesting situations we faced, and more. I'm your host Arika, and today we are going to talk about cultures and traditions. We'll be discussing the customs we have in our family, our race, or even just a place, like our school.
Bakmi game.
I was about to say Hokben, but okay.
Again?
Yeah, I crave bakmi game. The bakmi special game. It's really nice.
A few more months, just wait.
14 months.
Alright.
And ongoing. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Oh, you sound so tired.
We all are.
We always are.
We all are.
So welcome to another episode. Rafi isn't here
Hello.
because he has a headache. So future listeners, please raise your hands
And
up
mouth ulcers.
and lend your energy from the future to the past and heal Rafi from his headache.
Dika, this is an anime.
Dika, if I do that, I think his ulcers is gonna grow into a tumor.
Okay, except people like Ban, don't give him your energy.
Yes. Good call.
Good call.
Also, it will be Rafi's birthday tomorrow after recording.
You mean this midnight?
Yep, so happy birthday, Rafi.
Happy birthday,
Hey,
Rafi.
Rafi.
Even though this will
Happy
be released like
birthday.
Happy
way, way later.
birthday. Wait, I'm gonna need to mark it in my notes of
Glenn,
people.
again, there's like a note of everyone's birthday in the group.
I can't remember people's birthdays for shit, so I take notes of them.
Yeah,
Alright.
you are a good person. I don't even bother at this point.
My problem is remembering today's date.
Limbao.
Oh yeah, like that one time I also said happy birthday to my friend, but it was like a week early because what is time? I mean, I know her exact birthday, but I forgot that it's not that day yet.
It's fine. Time is a social construct.
I was about to say that.
Alright, so today's episode is cultures and traditions. We have touched cultures and traditions quite a few times, but there are actually a lot more, I believe. Unfortunately, Rafi isn't here because he's, half Filipino, so I'm sure he has a lot
More
to share as well.
insight.
DLC, yes, DLC, man.
DLC.
If you wanna listen to him, pay $30 and go to this.
We're not EA. We're not EA, Dika. We're
no,
not
no.
EA.
we are selling we're selling Rafi's part for only a $1 donation.
No.
$1 donation. You just have to put your credit card info and you're done.
Guys, you know this is a joke, right?
$1 Patreons get access to Rafi's section of the video.
Just $1 every month and you'll get to listen to Rafi. And then next year it's Natasha and then Jerry.
Disclaimer, we don't actually have a Patreon.
No, we don't. Actually.
Yeah, but we
we
have
don't.
OnlyFans though.
No,
we don't.
Don't.
This another important disclaimer. Anything Ben says out of his mouth is purely for comedy.
Alright, yeah, cultures and traditions. I don't know if there are a lot of foreigners out there who know us Chinese Indonesians. Like in Indonesia, of course, there are a lot of different cultures, right? And one
Am
of
I
them,
Chinese? I don't know.
Chinese Indonesians are pretty common here, the people. We are not half Chinese, half Indonesian, but we're Indonesian with Chinese blood.
Yeah, I can't speak Mandarin.
Basically,
but,
we're
I can
Chinese,
speak
but we live in Indo.
Second
Yeah,
second
basically.
generation immigrants or third generation immigrants. No idea.
probably third generation for most of us.
Actually, no, third generation citizens. Is it citizens or immigrants? I forgot. Like third
I
generation.
don't know.
But yeah, our ancestors immigrated here. But like we don't know if we actually have like any Indonesian blood per se. Right?
Probably, most probably, honestly. Like, there's no way. That's
There's no way we're pure Chinese here.
no way. There's no way.
I mean, we barely can like speak Chinese, maybe except from JS.
Okay,
Yeah.
Chinese doesn't exactly run in blood. Okay, it's not like a superpower.
If you're Chinese, it doesn't mean you can speak Chinese.
Exactly.
If you have Chinese blood, yeah.
Even like what like other like you? I think you speak Chinese, right, Dika? So like
I speak Chinese with my family, yes.
yeah. Is that like something you start up or like your parents already speak Chinese?
This is
from the
actually
get-go?
interesting. So like my parents cannot speak Chinese at all back then, but then
Okay.
they had me and my brother go to an international school, right? And we learned Chinese there. And from there, my parents decided to learn Chinese as well, cause we learned Chinese, and then it became a habit for my family to speak Chinese. I don't know how it leaked to like my mom's side of the family, but like I remember my mom telling that to people, like they couldn't actually speak Chinese back then. But like even then,
Oh.
I think my mom's side, my grandma from my mom's side is actually still very close to like the Chinese language. She reads newspaper in Chinese.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, wow. Actually, yeah, I've seen like those people like in Glodok, like the old people like wearing like V-necks,
Glasses.
white beaters, like like okay, in America, I guess not America, like the way I've seen them, like this called wife beaters.
What?
The wife beaters,
There,
like the
there's a
singlet.
literal
The
yeah.
singlet. It's called the wife. It's called a wife beater.
There's
no.
we do not know why it's called that.
We
so,
never knew
yeah.
that.
Oh no.
Because rednecks who beat their wife usually wears them. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's called a wife beater though. That I don't know for sure. I don't know why, but it's definitely called a wife beater.
Oh no. I'm
And
looking
like
it up right now.
one time I saw my grandma watching Chinese TV series, right? And then I tried to listen and read the subtitles as well. So the subtitle is in Chinese as well. But like what I
Wow.
hear, I cannot read. One, because I'm incompetent, of course, in Chinese language. But two, there are simple words where like it's different. It's also, I think, maybe traditional Chinese. Or like, yeah, different kind of Hanche Chinese characters.
Oh, not the simplified Chinese.
Yeah. And somehow I when I talk with my aunts and my cousins from my mother's side, I use Chinese as well. And my father's side as well, I think like some people I use Chinese as well with them.
Mm.
I don't know how what their story is with learning Chinese, but mine from school and then parents join in.
But that's not something I actually just knew
How
though.
the tables have turned.
I always thought that like your parents could just
Apparently
it's
not.
just like something they do. Yeah.
But like
Okay.
in middle school, high school, I think, my parents would watch this Singaporean channel TV series, and they use Chinese there, and from there
Yeah.
my mom learns even more Chinese words.
Wow.
Nowadays, if I speak something in Indonesian, my mom would correct me and like, make me speak full Chinese as much as
Wow.
possible.
Okay.
Wow. Such
Whoa, that's
dedication.
crazy.
though.
That's dedication.
She wants to send me to China, man. That's the dedication.
That's very.
Wow.
At
That
least
is
you
a
have
dream.
at least
speaking of
you'll have a
that-
friend. So
Actually, speaking of that, I am curious. Do all of your parents at one point in time want to send you to China? Because my parents wanted to send me to China too.
Me too.
yes, yeah, same
my
here.
parents.
Yeah, same
Wow.
here.
Okay, is that like a universal thing among like fucking Indo-Chinese people?
Yeah, is it?
Having your
I think
parents
so.
wanting you to send you to China?
I think so.
My
Question mark.
grandma especially. She wants me to go to China.
My dad wanted to send me to China simply because like, oh yeah, the civil engineering there is good, but like, like of course that was not after like further like looking for like the prices and whatnot, apparently it was like way out of budget, so like we didn't do it. But like,
If I didn't like pick anything except medicine, my parents would have sent me to China, or at least like strongly suggested me going to China if I didn't pick anything about
Exactly.
medicine.
they really want me to learn the language, which I failed to
Yes.
learn.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah,
I
so
don't feel
yes,
for
yeah.
you.
That's like their main motivation.
At this point, I can speak
Exactly.
more. I can speak more Japanese than Mandarin. Even though I
So
took
this
like
yo.
like 9 years of formal Mandarin classes.
Maybe I should get into those chanimes,
Where-
man.
Hey, I'm into those chanimes. I still haven't absorbed yet. I've like watched like 10 chanimes, not 10, I guess five chanimes, 5 seasons of chanimes, but still can't speak for shit.
My parents wanted to send me for a different reason to China.
Why?
Why?
They wanted they wanted me to help out with the family business there. I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like,
family
okay. Apparently my aunt there is selling tea. Like
Tea.
her tea, and then I was like, hey, not bad. But then like they moved to Australia, so now I'm like asking my mom, so should I move to China or Australia? She's like, I don't know.
So like
So right now it's just up in the air.
many of our parents have different reasons, but in the end they still want to send us to China.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
More or less.
Is this like a
more or
fate
less.
all Chinese Indonesians will face
I
eventually?
guess so.
It's like because like go back to your motherland or something. Pay homage to your motherland. Because like
I think not really.
No,
because-
I think yes, really. Because like in Chinese culture, like home is where the family is. You know that, right? You know that saying, like you know the saying of home is where the family is, right?
No, for me, it's just sending me to China because of the education, right? Because like they don't actually want to live in China or like move to China, at least for my family, because like they also strongly disagree with living in China. Like they're just Indonesia's way better and whatnot. But like, so I don't think so.
My family disagrees as well. Like my family doesn't want me living in China. They want to send me to China for education, right? But like they have a very strong connection itself to the actual Chinese soil. If you catch my meaning. Because like if I remember correctly, Chinese culture. You know the saying of like home is where the family is, right? You know that saying, right? That's apparently that saying. Okay, so like. This is like a combination of what I just learned a couple days ago, plus my observation throughout the years. Like because like my grandparents, especially like my parents, they're obsessed with like the Chinese soil thing. Yeah, but like the actual place where you are, because apparently in Chinese culture, home and family, it's a one concept. It's a very tightly concept. So like the soil at which your house stands in and the house itself is part of your family. That's why like family is jia and house is also jia, right? So maybe that's I think that's why my parents are so obsessed with sending.
But
me
like,
to China.
do you still have
Partly,
family in like mainland China?
according to my according to my family members who went to China, yes, we do. We have like distant relatives, and we even have like an ancestral tomb of sorts.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I have distant relatives as well, and I remember one relative, I believe, it was during the 98 incident. So for context, for those who don't know, in 1998 in Indonesia there was like chaos and
It was a coup, I think. It's cool.
It was a coup.
It's fair to call
Not
it
a coup, not a coup.
Is it not a
Sort
coup?
of like a
It's a massacre,
revolution.
I think.
No,
No,
not
like
the coup was-
the original context is like it's not specifically targeting the Chinese people. It's just it's like a after effect, like the massacre of the Armenians. I think like the Armenian genocide wasn't like it's not like the Holocaust. Okay, don't correct me. Okay, I'm not gonna make comparisons because I don't know the exact history. But basically, Glenn, explain.
basically Glenn explained.
Basically, Glenn explained.
I will make a mistake and make a fool out of myself if I explain.
So you'd rather make Glenn make a fool of himself?
No, I'd rather correct Glenn so we correct each other, right?
Long story short, it's basically a very unstable time in Indonesian history where sort of like martial law and whatever like was like enforced, and it was a very unsafe time for Chinese Indonesians, which were being targeted by like the mobs and like yes,
medieval times basically.
yeah. So yes.
Yeah, it's like medieval times.
So that happened.
Witch hunting, I guess, if you want to call it that.
We have nothing
Okay,
against,
wait. I'm actually curious. Was the martial law actually like directed at the with anti-Chinese sentiment? Because like that's what taught in
the
schools,
anti-Chinese
right?
sentiment was like a faction.
It's
of
like
it.
an after as like the main drive. It's not like the anti. It's not like the with the Jews and the Holocaust, right? I mean that Jews and
I'm not
Holocaust.
too sure.
Wasn't there
I'll
like
have to
the
look into
communist
this
thing
more.
as well
I'm not sure.
involved?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that was 68. That was like 63.
No, but I still feel like the effects of the Communist Party here like kind of also like dragged on for quite a while until that point as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a reason now. If you say you are affiliated with the Communist Party, you actually get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Ironic. Actually, China just ironic. It's the complete opposite. You profess your love for the Communist Party, you get arrested. In China, if you don't, you get arrested.
I mean, we are a democratic nation, so
Of course, we're not judging anyone here. We're just letting you guys know 1998.
Stating our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
the history of
But
India.
yeah, I'm pretty sure like it wasn't like the martial law thing wasn't mainly targeted at. It wasn't mainly caused by anti-Chinese sentiment. It's caused by something else. But the anti-Chinese sentiment got caught up in that whirlpool, maelstrom, and the anti-Chinese.
I mean, what's important that it happened.
It happened.
It was like a really bad time for everyone.
Yeah.
Especially the Chinese people, were like they had to like stay in their homes, remove their Chinese anything, so they don't get like
targeted.
Mobbed up. Yeah.
Witch hunted basically.
There's a documentary about it as well, I think.
Yeah, there is.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
there
of it.
was.
And
There was.
from two sides as well, from the ones executing
And the victims.
and from the victim's perspective. But your point is that happened, so it was very unsafe time for Chinese Indonesians. So my distant relative
Also,
actually moved.
Mhm. Also, fun fact that that case has never been solved. Like no one was charged.
Well, no, because like it's
So, yeah.
a mob thing. You can't
It's a
exactly
mob
charge
thing.
the mob.
Yeah. It's like a marsh coup thing, and again, mob thing. You can't exactly charge a mob, especially it happens so many times, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's an isolated incident, then you can isolate that mob and prosecute the mob. But like if it's like so much, you can't.
I mean, it was
like,
happening. It was happening all around Indonesia as well. So there was like a lot of parties involved. So
Most of Indonesia, not all.
Mhm.
Right?
I think so.
I think most of the action happened in Jakarta.
I think
I
so.
don't know. I'm not too sure about this.
From what I read, actually, at least one happened in Medan, one happened in Jakarta, one happened in Surabaya. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think that's just it. I think
Yeah.
those three major cities.
They happen in like major political hotspots, right? Which is like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
island. It's in the island of Java still.
Mhm.
I think cases do happen outside. I remember learning about a couple. Okay, you know what? No. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at they were concentrated in Java, if I remember correctly.
This is turning into a history lecture.
I mean traditions, right? Traditions.
Yeah, traditions.
This is also
yeah.
like why my family fled to Bali, and so I was actually born in Bali.
Oh, damn.
But like
Oh.
I was just there to be dropped, just and then went back.
All right.
Anyways, yeah. Then a distant relative actually fled to China, and they have lived there ever since. And usually when I go to Hong Kong, I honestly don't know if this is the same distant relative, but like when I do go to Hong Kong, there's like a distant relative. I don't even know who, because I feel like, I don't know if it's for you guys as well, but Chinese family is extremely complicated.
Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Lines.
I meet people I don't know on a yearly basis, on like a monthly basis. Glenn, you should know, right? Yeah,
Well,
on
mean,
those family gatherings. I don't know half of the people I see.
for
We
me,
really-
I'm sort of forced to know most of them. Although, like, I don't know. I just notice most of them, I guess. So, like, not a lot of new people, but yeah, I guess it's a really large family.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly new for me either. But I just don't know who they are. I know their faces, but I don't know who they are exactly. Like, oh, whose cousin's wife are you, or whose daughter's?
Yeah, like
whose
every
daughter's,
Chinese New Year, I need to
uncle
ask.
you.
I need to ask my mom, like, what do I call this person?
Exactly.
Because yeah, that's also the thing. I guess it goes into language. We call
every position has a specialized language.
This is also funny because like I like how everyone's family is like, oh, we still uphold tradition, and then there's my family, which is like they basically threw away the old ways and kind of like stormed off on their own. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? How?
Especially from my mother's side. Like we don't use like we don't even call each other by the traditional Chinese names anymore. They don't even use Chinese anymore. And then like they kind of just like view like their ancestors just like their bygone era, and like they're basically like let the past die, or like let the old be the old ways. We're basically like trying to be something better, something new, basically.
Okay, who here
So,
still
yeah.
uses Chinese names with family? Of course,
I still do, but then like rarely ever
not my
uses it.
family.
not you, JS.
Not you.
No.
Oh.
I mean, it's not like QQ or EE or something like this. Like
Your Chinese
the
name.
Chinese names.
No, you
Yeah,
you
you,
yourself.
like Chinese
are you,
name,
Are you
like Chinese
called
name.
with a Chinese name? Or are you called by Jason?
Nah. No.
I don't actually remember my Chinese name.
It's fine.
Either I remember my Chinese surname. I don't remember my Chinese name either.
I still remember my Chinese name, but I rarely
Wait,
use
so
it.
it's only me
anyway,
and
so, yeah.
Glenn.
Yeah, I use
Yeah.
my Chinese name in China, but not here.
Hell, even with Glenn, at one point I was calling him by his Chinese name.
Seriously?
I mean, Glenn.
Yeah,
I mean, Glenn is frequently called Jiayan.
I used to call him that.
Makes sense.
Call him Guden.
Guden.
I think it's only recently that Ben has been calling me by like my English name.
Your Romanized name, Anglican name.
Romanized. No, I mean English. No,
English.
no. Not even like gonna
I
hide
mean,
it.
it's your
Glenn is
Indonesian
English.
name either too. It's not like Indonesian you have a different name, right?
Well, Glenn is English though. Like
It's your not Chinese name.
yeah,
Okay,
but not
alright.
Chinese name.
All right, I can accept
Yeah.
that.
Even then, like Glenn is called Chayan, right? But in my family, for some reason, actually now that I think about it, it's just me and my brother. We're called using the last character in the Chinese, so it's Chen Chun Shan, right? But I'm called San San, so like using the last letter, it's and then you double it. It happens for some people, but like some others, even my cousins. For my cousins, I don't call them with things like that. Only one out of like 7, 9 cousins I have.
Maybe so it's easier to call.
It's cuter, I guess.
Well, it is, yeah.
Actually, fun fact about that, like now that you mention it, you said you have 3 syllables, right? Your name has 3 syllables, have 3 characters.
The characters, yeah.
Yeah, your name has 3 characters. Like your surname and your given name is like two syllables,
Uh-huh.
2 characters. So I just watched the video, right? By Siran J Zhao. She's like a Chinese Canadian immigrant. She grew up in mainland China, and she talks about like Chinese culture and movies and shit. Apparently, like with Chinese names, if you have those 3 syllables, people usually call you by your given name, right? But like informally. But if you have only 2 syllables, for example, your given name is only 1 syllable, you double it. So, for example, if you're called Zhao, like something Guo Zhao, for example, if you're called Guo Zhao, you'd be called Zhao Zhao or like Xiao Zhao or something like. Usually you get a nickname, but like if you have 3 syllables, you're called by your full name, usually full given name, but like not your family name. Okay, fun fact. Moving
But
on.
then I get like both. I have 3 syllables and then I double up.
Also, no offense, your family name was like Chao Chun.
Chen is my
Chao-
surname. Chen Chun Shan is my Chinese name.
Chen Chun San. Yeah, that sounds like that sounds in part of the with the Jugemo one.
I find it interesting how like the Shan is mountain, right?
Yeah.
Shan mountain, and then my brother is Chen Chun Lin. Lin is forest.
Forest.
Cool combination for like
How do
brothers.
we all remember that?
Yeah, you
The
guys
mountain and the forest.
somehow know, or someone guessed.
It's like fucking.
No, actually, yeah.
It's like fucking ingrained, like PTSD, man.
It's one of the most
No,
basic.
I mean, I still use Chinese.
Well, true.
I mean, there's JS, but like Jerry and Ben.
I mean, I speak some Mandarin most of. I know basic like everyday conversation Mandarin, but like get into the more specifics and I'm lost.
Yeah, lately
Yeah, same.
lately I've been using Mandarin like I use Latin to sound cool.
Besides that, also, my mom practices Buddhism, and my dad is actually like Confucian. That's the word, right? Confucian.
Yes,
Confucius.
Confucianism, I guess.
Yeah, Confucianism.
Confucianism. Yeah.
Confucianism. Can I just say Confucian for short?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
sure.
access that,
It's also
right?
fine.
Yeah.
So like, and they're both really tight with their religion. I myself am a Buddhist, but like I still follow both traditions, and I find it interesting how they have different beliefs, right? Obviously, Buddhism in reincarnation, while Confucianism, what I grew up with, and what I understand from my dad's side of the family, like after you die, you go to the land of the ancestors, something like that, realm, and then in Confucianism, when you prepare food for the dead, you need like food from the three quote unquote worlds, land, sea, and air. So you need to have like a chicken, fish, and pork. Yeah, there's that. Well,
But chicken is technically land.
it's a bird though.
It doesn't fly.
But it's a bird.
It's a
You'd
bird.
be surprised how high chickens
Right.
can climb with like can jump with those like wings.
Well, I guess they can glide, not fly. They can
They
glide.
can they
I
can
guess.
jump from the ground to the rooftop by like flapping their
I
wings.
have never seen
Alright, fair.
a chicken do that
I have
before.
never seen a chicken actually jumping to the rooftop.
It's crazy. You should you should see it sometime.
Glenn, did you see that? Like at our grandma's house? Where did you see that? Where did you see that?
my grandma's house. She
Oh.
keeps chickens.
Whoa!
Yeah, I know she kept chicken. Did you actually saw that?
Yeah, they roam. Not like my grandma from my mother's
Oh,
family.
okay.
Not-
That explains it. That explains because
yeah.
like on the chickens and the grandma from ours, like the shed we share, they are kept in a cage, right? They're kept in a coop.
Yeah. How do you think those roosters like get on top of those roofs and like cockle-doodle-doo?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Actually, fair enough.
I often like when I go to the temple, Vihara. I think the best translation is temple. There's also like the class
Temple,
there,
I think.
and oftentimes when the speaker talk about these things, they always tell a story where I think the guy tried to give quote unquote offering, the food for the dead for the father, like from the three lands, because Confucian, but like Buddhism believes in reincarnation. So like at night, the guy dreams the father came back like, why did you put the pork there? That was me. So like, yeah, there's that story that they like to tell. It's similar kind of like some parts of the traditions, but the beliefs can be really different.
Chat move. Why did you put the pork? That was me. I know. I wanted to reincarnate again. I don't want to live as an animal.
I saved you.
Because like, technically, animals is one of the lower realms. Okay, Glenn, correct me on this. Is it animal one of the lower realms?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's
I believe
the
so, yeah.
Lower realms, and at least in Buddhism.
So like it's like a lesser punishment, quote unquote, right? Then like
Yeah. So if you have bad karma, you downgrade.
Actually, speaking of which, between Confucianism and like Buddhism, at least like the Buddhism you found, is it like Buddhism Tao? Taoists.
I think Taoism is a different religion altogether. You can't exactly
Like,
combine the
current-
two.
But like I've heard like because like Buddhism right now is like there's like Confucian Buddhism and like the Shinto Buddhism and like there's like the
Not exactly Confucian Buddhism. Confucianism and Buddhism are two separate things. They people can practice both, which people do because, like me, because like I practice like the traditions of like my Confucian ancestors, but like sort of like I also like go to the temple sometimes. Although like I'm more of an agnostic now, but like I can tell you they're pretty different. I mean, they're not exactly conflicting in most parts because like both of them sort of like go about like your way of life, where like Confucianism is like respect your mother and father and like whatever, and then like, but yeah, they sort of like go hand in hand. They're totally different though. They're totally different. Like there's no
Because-
confusion.
okay, so like not Confucian
Buddhism,
Buddhism, but then
yeah.
like let me rephrase then like I've heard like the what do you call it the current what do you call it. Well, actually, no, never mind. Until I know what it is, I won't say it. But what I will say, one of my aunts, I think, actually is practice Shinto Buddhism,
Oh, Japanese.
Japanese Buddhism,
Japanese.
like Japanese Buddhism. It's a fun fact. One of my aunts, she's like been to pilgrimage to Japan to actually go to those temples.
Damn.
Nice. I want to go to those temples for a completely different reason.
Me too.
I've been to those temples. I've been to those temples. It's just
wanna-
chef's kiss. Just chef's kiss. It's pretty nice, actually. Pretty nice. They sell souvenirs, by the way.
The charms, is it?
Yeah, the charms. A lot of things, actually, other than charms.
Oh,
They-
there's like this one temple, right? The one they sell roast mochi
Yes.
to partition. I want to
But-
go there.
Oh, I wish I
Yeah,
go
I
there.
didn't go there, but I knew about that.
Because like they only sell their mochi to the temple goers, right? They don't do takeout. They only sell for like those who have quote unquote. This is I think a quote. To those who have time for God or like to pray or what something, a variation of that. It's like from a Great Big Story video. It's like what they said.
Yes. I actually saw this on NHK, but okay. So yeah.
But yeah, I want to go there. I want to eat that mochi. Usually those exclusive as fuck places are good, right? I don't know, unless the pandemic has them already, has them already doing takeouts or something.
I think they are starting, maybe. Well, who knows?
Actually, Japan isn't in lockdown.
It's not?
The people just lock themselves
Right
down.
now it's in lockdown again.
Oh, right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Right now it's in lockdown. I think it's like there was a
They
massive
have
influx
new
of
cases,
cases. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Come on. All right.
These are
Even
just
in
Never
Japan,
ending,
man.
guys.
It's not ending. It's like
This thing is like a wave, man. It's like it goes up and goes down, like and then it goes up again. Like what? Okay.
yeah.
because people become complacent. It's complacency, man.
True.
Because like I swear, because like COVID is not immediately lethal. Like it's not like SARS.
It's not lethal. So like when people feel better, people see like, oh, cases are lowering. That means it's a sign like, oh, we can go out now. We go out.
It's compliant.
More
It's
cases.
yeah, it's compliant. It's like the Coom, right?
Yeah.
You know, in India, right, there's a clusterfuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's because apparently one of the causes is like the yearly gatherings, like the Coom. Apparently, that's contributing greatly to it. If you know, like where they go to the Ganga River and to swim. I mean, you know, you've seen the comparisons like up to like the people in Ganga River and the people in Anchal.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, let's
My
move on
fucking
to...
Understandable.
My lecturers are holding their breath, I swear. No joke, that is what they say. My lecturers are holding their breath. Fuck. Is this gonna cause another flare up? Alright,
Let's
moving
move
on.
on. It's already like half
Moving
an
on,
hour
moving on.
and we're only done with me.
This is what I'm talking about keywords, man.
God, okay. Well, yeah, it led to you and roasted mochi.
Yes, roasted mochi.
Yeah, what's next? What's next?
Jerry,
Hi, what's up? Yeah. Why is it me?
because you said you can rant about our Chindo culture, Chinese Indonesian culture.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Chindo. That's such a weird name.
I'm
Indonesian.
I'm just gonna. Okay, I'm just gonna be blatantly. I don't think this is racist because I myself am living here.
Also, just
So I
pointing
can
out
be
this
racist
whole
to my own nationality.
episode, of course, as always, we mean no offense towards anyone.
Yeah,
We're
we
not
mean no
judging.
offense.
I mean,
Yeah.
even if you're offensive, c'est la vie, right?
If you're, yeah. I personally just hate it, I guess.
Any
Elaborate.
reason
Like the
why?
whole
Elaborate.
Chinese Indonesian thing.
Elaborate.
Okay, maybe this is just like cause like I grew up in a basically like a culture in a tradition where let the old be old and let the new flourish. Maybe because of that. So like sometimes like when I see like I'm not gonna say who. I sometimes when I see like a person's kind of like mother kind of like scolding them or whatnot, like, oh, you should always listen to the elders because they're right. I'm like, I sometimes like I get pissed. I get really pissed, and then sometimes I just like think like, God, we are so backwards. Why are we backwards? I mean, to a certain degree, maybe they are correct. But most of the time I see Chindo people here, either they're rather arrogant and stubborn.
They're drunk on respect.
Yeah, they hold up respect to a high degree, but they themselves don't show it.
Yeah, respect is
That's why I
not
really hate Chindo
demanded.
culture.
It's earned.
Yeah,
It's
And
like
they don't earn it.
the young are supposed to respect the elderly, and the elderly is supposed to be respectable.
yeah, maybe because I live in a family where that tradition is basically like kind of thrown away. So like my family, especially like my mother's side of the family, is like if the elders do something wrong, they admit it and then they say they're wrong and then they say they'll do better. And same and maybe like because like I have grown up in an environment for so long, it's like every time I see someone like do that, it's like I sometimes I just say I'm gonna say something kind of harsh. I'm just gonna say, you're an elder. You should show a better example. I'm pretty sure like if I say that in a regular traditional Chindo kind of family, I would probably get slapped.
No, man, that's just reinforcing their way of life. That's just reinforcing the thought that like elders are supposed to be respected because they are respectable.
Yeah.
Also for elders, it's like whenever we disagree with them and we turn out to be right, we get called disrespectful. I mean, like, just because we're right doesn't mean we're disrespectful. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That is what I don't like about the kind of like sometimes the Chinese Indonesians here, where they kind of like hold that to a high degree. I guess I am also kind of like part of the problem.
Happened with
I
your
will admit that I'm
family,
part of the problem.
guys.
My God, what is wrong with y'all's family? It's so fucking dysfunctional.
Whoa.
Hey.
I feel blessed
Hello?
now. My God, my family. I feel blessed. I swear. I feel even more privileged now. My
It's not
God.
okay. For Ben, it's not happening in my family. So my family is not like that. But you know, I've seen some people's family like that, and kind of pisses me off. So yeah, there's that, I guess. It's like sometimes even the elders are not right, but then like they kind of become arrogant and kind of upstuck about it, even though they're not right. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
okay, legitimately, I do not know. Like, legitimately, I've never met a person like who actually does that. Like, who's so stubbornly insistent on them being right.
I've met at least 4 in my life, and yeah, kind of gets on my nerves sometimes.
And like also with the thing, if you get proven right, you get called disrespectful. I have never encountered that. I should count my lucky stars. I've never encountered that. But yeah, I have never encountered that because like usually the argument comes with experience, right? And like I can't exactly argue with experience. Like for example, we should treat people like X, Y, Z. Or for example, the certain situation, like, oh, you should diffuse the situation, oh, you should fight back or whatever, because like in my experience, blah 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 blah. That's experience, right? I can't exactly denote experience. I don't have any counter argument. So like they're by default already correct, right? They're by default already they have like the most data compared to me. I can either go in blind, like with my hypothesis, or I can use the data they have and compare their proven hypothesis as like a replication study, right? But I legitimately have never met someone who's insistent in their ways. I must be that lucky.
But I guess most of the time, like when I meet, or like not meet, like I encounter these kind of situations, it's usually like not because of like a factual argument, usually because of a legit kind of like emotional kind of argument, or like just like because of a small nitpicky argument sometimes.
Like for example, what?
I cannot disclose any information, but the closest thing I can say is basically kind of like disagreeing on a fashion style. That's it.
Oh God! Oh my God! Yeah, that's like me and my mom. Like, just because I don't dress like her doesn't mean it doesn't look good. Like, come on, style and all that. Like, it's more like she's projecting, I guess. It's more projecting.
Yeah, that is the mildest example I can give without going into further detail. So yeah.
I know what you mean though.
So yeah, I kind of made my point now. Don't like it. Will never like it. I'll probably if I'm honest, if I would not be caught, if there's a law that allows at least some level of violence, I would literally punch people who does that. That's how pissed off I am sometimes when I see those people.
Okay.
So don't listen to Ben when he says, if you're not caught, it's fine.
Hey, I'm not the only one who said that, right?
Well, technically, it's
Yes,
true.
you're not the only one. You and
Technically.
Natasha, the two psychopaths here, yeah.
Well, okay. This might sound controversial, but I slightly agree with them, Dika.
Yeah, see,
Just saying. I slightly agree with them.
Moral standing, guys. Moral standing. Have some...
I have my moral standards,
What
but
is moral?
But if it's directed at the person that I don't mind doing it, I would
punching
do
people
it.
is part of the moral standard. Just look at Batman.
Oh yeah, not true.
Nice.
If your moral standards
Well, when you put
includes
it that
punching
way.
people, then sure.
Ben, you're like the worst person for us to consult about moral things.
Oh no.
I guess it depends. Morals just means like a way of life, right? It's just like a
Exactly my point.
Yeah, okay,
You're going
alright.
there already.
I guess it
Fair.
could be ideals as well.
Fair. I'll stop talking. I'll stop talking.
Yeah, it could be ideals as well.
No,
Not necessarily a way of life.
let us not go
Or
into...
unless your definition of ideals is someone enacting their way of life. So
I did not prepare for this, so I will in there for this time spouting bullshit again. I'm gonna make myself sound worse than I actually am again.
Don't worry. Power of editing.
Dika has powers. he
Dika has time travel powers.
Yeah.
He's a time lord.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, is that the only thing you hate about...
That is probably my biggest gripe with our local tradition, I guess. But like everything else, I think it's like pretty okay for me. Like, paying respect to the dead and whatnot. So yeah, paying respect to the dead and whatnot with like these. Have I actually told you that my family is kind of like has a dual religion going on?
What?
How so?
So basically like my family is both Catholic and Buddhist.
Okay.
How does that work?
then-
How does that work out?
So basically we go to Vihara and basically just
You
like
go to the temple?
We go to the temple and then we because like we put my grandfather's kind of ashes there, right? So we go there, we kind of like pay respect to the ashes. And then but then we also kind of like go to church from time to time. Yeah, that's just how I've been living my life, both as a Catholic Buddhist amalgamation, I guess. we don't really pray to the gods. We just go to the temple to pay respects to the dead. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, my family is not really full on Buddhist, but then like we go to the Buddhist temple and then like pay respects in a Buddhist way, I guess. So yeah, it's weird.
If
My
it's
family's
weird,
weird.
but it works, then it works.
Didn't know you actually have been to the temple.
I have. My family is definitely not kind of like not. It's not. My family is definitely not like an exception. I feel like there are probably a lot of other families similar to my family, like a dual religion thing going on.
It's interesting though, like, at least your family is open enough.
Yeah, my family is pretty open actually.
But like, that's as far as the Buddhist part go, right?
Yeah, that's as far as the Buddhist parts go, I guess. Like, we don't really go into the Buddhist culture as a whole, but then like we kind of like, it's kind of also like, I guess, paying homage to what our ancestors did, but kind of like sort of in a way kind of like remembering them. Although I know this kind of contradicts with like, oh, let the old be old, like or forget the old ways, but I guess like, old habits die hard, I guess.
Well, still, you're respecting.
Yeah, we're basically just respecting the dead, so yeah.
Cause mine, it goes as far as to like, usually every year, when it marks the passing of a family member, sometimes we invite a monk. I think oftentimes we invite a monk, and then we read all the sutras.
We don't do that
like
though.
The whole. That's like a deeper, the Buddhist practice thing.
Yeah.
Is that all, Jerry?
That's all. I think that's like, I'm pretty much kind of mostly chill with like our tradition and cultures here, but then like the only thing I'm not chill is about that one, about the respect thing. Kind of like sometimes they push it on too hard, but then like the elders kind of become hypocrites about it.
I agree with that.
Jumping on to Glenn.
I guess a little bit of comment with like Jerry not liking like the Chinese Indo culture. Sort of like, I've been in the stance of it's a thought that counts for I guess the later half of my teen years, like adult now, right? So sort of like being all passive about it, but at least for my family. Because like my dad is pretty strict. My mom is she has power, but like she's not as strict. Sort of like the respect kind of thing is still like really solid in my family, right? Because like pretty traditional. If I do say so myself, and I've come to like, I guess, sympathize with their intentions more than their words. So I mean, of course I get pissed off, especially like back then when I was like, in the first early years of my teen years, right? Because like that's like the biggest changes, right? What's going on with school and the whole being a teen. And
angst.
Angst. But once that part's over, and like looking at like now, especially like my dad especially still like is pretty strict, right, with whatever he says. But I just feel like, at least for now, I guess I get to understand them more like their intentions and not their words. That sort of thing. Like, we still argue a lot, but most of our arguments are about politics or about like what's currently happening or about like social distancing measures that's currently in place in whatever. So I feel like that's healthy in a way, but like I see my boundaries as sort of like the sun, and where I shouldn't step over. And like sometimes, even though I feel like I'm right, and I might not be right, and I know that, sometimes it's just better to just cut it off. He doesn't like it, and it's not healthy for your relationship. And I feel like it's better for us to preserve that relationship and not let it go sour, rather than arguing further. And
I guess also to like kind of like further add to this, like I also just want to make it clear that I don't argue for the sake that I say like I'm pissed off, but then like I would not show it I would not show that I'm pissed off. But then like sometime, because like, I mean, like here's the thing. I might say I hate it, but I don't outright show it. Cause like, I know
they
like,
can't take
like,
it.
yeah, cause like, it's like, it's their family business. I'm not in a position to argue for them. So I'm just gonna keep
especially if
silent,
it's like
you know?
another like family, but like this is happening with me and my family, and like I feel like the hierarchy is still very strong, and like
but like for me also as well, at least like the also another thing I want to make clear. So it's just that sometimes I understand that. I know when to keep my boundaries, but then like there are times where I just feel like I have to step in because someone is just being too unreasonable. So yeah. I'm not afraid. I guess I could say like I'm not afraid to confront if someone is being unreasonable, not like out of factual argument or whatnot, mostly because of like social or like more emotional argument. So yeah, if factual, I tend to keep to myself. But then like if it's like emotional or like someone is like being a bit too stepping out of line a bit, I usually like I'm not afraid to confront my parents about it.
I'm in more of the stance of just it's just something that like the two parties have to go through. Like, you can't exactly intervene anyway, and especially for parents, at least my parents, if they know they've been too strict or whatever, they'll usually try to make it up. They'll have to make an effort, and so far, me being like making an effort to be more understanding, especially for my my parents' temper sometimes. Sort of just like let it go, all right, just say sorry or whatever. Like I do that more. I feel like they're also making more of an effort for them to connect to me, which I appreciate a lot, because like I feel like, you know, we're going to adulthood. Our time with our parents ain't exactly very long anymore.
Every family kind of like functions differently. That's like how my family functions, because like my sometimes my family is kind of dense, so someone has to be the voice of reason sometimes. So yeah,
I guess
the saying.
For a new topic that you know how you call people by their titles here. This is like sort of like a tangent, sort of like just bringing a new topic in, but like
it's a new culture.
You call people like sir, yeah.
Yay.
It's just like an Asian thing, I think. Like compared to the West, people don't call like say their teachers like sir or whatever. They just call them by their names. Apparently
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
They're chill.
Which is weird. Which is weird for me, because like I can never get used to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I'm curious. Is it like a recent development or what? Like the calling
I think
teachers
that's a recent. I don't think that's a recent development.
No, it's just
been a while.
Something that you realize after getting exposed to Western culture more, I guess. It's very different.
Mm-hmm.
Like my lecturers asked me to just call them by their first names. Like no need to sir or miss.
Mm-hmm. Because like it's a bit too, because like for them like kind of like it's a bit too formal, especially like you've known them for like 2-3 years, I guess, and especially in college.
Yeah.
Or in school.
That happens too. Like for example, like can you imagine like, okay, so like I got like a professor, a well-known one too. Like he's like a semi-celebrity, right? In the medical world, at least. I got him like as my invigilator once, not invigilator, as my license officer once for like a competition. Competition he was part of, mind you, and like he was so chill, no joke, like he was so chill, and like he told me a story. Oh yeah, one of my students WhatsApp me, hey professor, I want to go for dinner tomorrow. I finally got our shots. Do you have any idea how mind blown I was when he said that? His fucking students just WhatsApped him, hey, prof, do you want to get some dinner tomorrow? We just got our COVID shots.
Very chill.
Very chill, and like it's also obvious. And then like there's like one part, and like the same professor also like he heads up like he was like a guest lecturer in one of like a national, so like there's like this national lecture sort of thing. So like bunch of students from different medical universities got together into one big ass lecture with that guy holding the lecture. It's so painfully obvious how fucking formal we are, and like it's so painfully obvious how much like the formality of our like Indonesian like obsession with formality just slows things down relatively, of course. I mean, maybe like with the actual Indonesian thing, it's not slowing things down because everyone's going at that pace, right? But like with that case, we're not the one who sets the pace. It's the head, it's the committee members, right? And they visibly do get. I'm not annoyed. They are perplexed by how slow the event is going, by how formal the other unis are. It's come to a point where like the MC has to remind. Since like one event is like the students have to answer questions, right? We are given a set of questions, and the students have to answer, right? Literally, the prompt is answer the question, but like almost every single one of them gave like 3 paragraphs worth of theory to that question.
Wow.
Wherein the prompt is only to answer the question, and was like that we realized too. My university, as much as I like to hate on it for being overly formal and shit, everyone in my uni, including the lecturers, we're all in agreement. Okay, all of us speak no more than 1 sentence each, and that's what we did. Like we spoke more than 1 sentence each, and we got. Okay, this is like me. This is me flexing. We got complimented on it. Okay, thank you, X University, being my university, for being so concise. I wish those were my lectures. for being so concise. Yeah, I mean that just made me realize that thing just made me realize how like stuck up in. No, I guess the stuck up is negative. So insistent. Yeah. So deep. Yeah. Like that experience just gave me like a window, like gave me like a perspective of like how deeply our culture is entrenched in like tradition. But yeah, okay. Titles, Glenn. Moving on. Sorry. Keyword.
Yeah.
Titles. Yeah.
Your tangent.
Yeah, titles too, and like yeah.
Yeah, that basically covers it. And I guess like one last thing is, I don't know, it's like have you ever noticed that like everyone and their grandmothers know Naruto, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is
What?
that's so weird actually.
Here,
Yeah.
sort of
That's
like
so weird.
like anime Doraemon,
Shinchan.
Shinchan.
Shinchan,
Shinchan,
like, sort of like a
Naruto,
staple, right? Like
Conan.
Conan,
but
Dragon
like,
Ball.
Manga shoujos
Videos.
too, like shoujo mangas too, like random shoujo mangas too.
yeah, Sailor Moon.
My mom, no joke, my mom has fucking shoujo mangas.
What?
From after she married, I read shoujo mangas growing up.
I'm just gonna say, I would never have gotten into anime if my dad never actually bought One Piece manga.
Wow,
He
your
keeps
parents
buying
are
One Piece
weebs?
mangas.
How lucky
Yeah,
are
my-
you? What the fuck?
My mom loves Doraemon, but that's as far as it goes.
I mean, my parents are weak. Like right now, they're not watching anime at all. But like
Yeah.
they do have like things. So anime, like what do you call it? Where like I guess like basic quote unquote like basic anime. It's just like standard knowledge here, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Meanwhile, my dad is
So
slowly
much,
turning into a weeb.
Yeah, so much so that like you can't exactly call someone who watches Naruto or watches not Dragon Ball. I don't know about Dragon Ball, but you can't call someone who watches Naruto or who watches Shinchan or who reads mangas
A weeb.
an otaku even, like a weeb, yeah. Because like it's nothing special, you know. It's nothing special.
Yeah, it's nothing special. It's kind of like Naruto, Shinchan, One Piece. It's kind of like everyone knows it, so you're not a weeb.
Unless they're deep into it, but like the baseline is much higher for like anime enjoyer, I guess, like or weeboo. It's like much higher baseline simply because everyone is a weeb here.
Not Naruto for me though. Mine is like more chill, like Shinchan, Doraemon, like slice of life thing.
More slice of life.
Yeah, basically, Dika is basically not beyond the threshold. Not yet,
Not the
anyways.
threshold, yeah.
And I'm pretty
But
sure
you
he's
know,
not gonna
right?
go over the threshold.
I mean, you've watched like in the West or like in the West, like you need to be an adult. You sort of like need to have the capacity to pirate things or like buy things in order for you to actually get these shows. Where here, like everyone who's a kid in that era knows Naruto, knows Sergeant Keroro. Knows.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
Sergeant
Sergeant
Keroro.
Keroro.
Oh my god, Sergeant Keroro. Holy crap. Oh my god. The nostalgia train. It's
I
going
think that's
strong.
it for me. I think culture, yeah.
your grandma read Naruto, Glenn?
Well, I mean, that was a figure of speech, Tika. It's a joke.
Who knows,
I wouldn't be
maybe-
surprised if she did.
I mean, who knows, man?
My dad's his younger brother. He's the oldest one. Younger brother, so like the third from like my dad. He's like 7 siblings, so quite old. So like only like 2. His younger brother, basically, but like still up there. He has like his whole collection of Detective Conan. Crazy.
My dad had like a whole shelf dedicated to One Piece as well.
And my grandmother was pretty young when he was born, like the one that like collect Detective Conan. So I'm guessing she knows probably some weeb stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of Keroro Gunso, oh god, I remember collecting the model kits when I was a kid. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I like how
Those were the days.
Keroro would build like Gundams by looking
yeah,
at
yeah.
the cover.
Yeah, I swear, every time I watch the show, they're just like blatantly shouting Gundam.
I mean, I
Not
wouldn't be
even trying to
surprised if
hide
my
it.
grandmother knew like those Detective Conan stuff, since like my dad is like currently into TikTok and Blackpink. So
What?
Whoa.
yeah, you would have guessed.
Alright. Amazing.
That is all from you, Glenn.
Yeah. That's
What is
all for
that
me.
about the title thing? Did Ben cover everything for that one?
I mean, personal anecdote wise, yeah. I mean, it's just a thing.
Yeah.
No, nothing else to really say. Like
Like-
we use titles.
Like
They don't,
the
so.
formality is like it's just an extension of the titles. I feel like, and like yeah, like
It's just like an Indonesia thing. Like you
Yeah.
say Pak Bu, right? Like you don't go anywhere without the titles.
I felt weird once, like, I went to a mall and then there was this guy from, I think, Germany. His wallet was stolen or something. And, like, he was looking for someone who could speak English. So I was there and then, like, we talked and, like, yeah, said our names. And I felt really weird calling him just by his name, even, like,
That's
because I
actually
know
very
he's
true.
much older than me.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not just about age as well, because my uni friends, both of my close uni friends, they're older than me. One is 1 year older, one is 2 years older, which is like my brother's age, my older brother's age actually. But like I just call them by their names. But once I joined this, I became a mentor, right, for the new students, and they are the same age as me, but they still call me with a title.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
because they see you like in a higher position of authority, right?
Plus, they
You're in
didn't
a
know I
position-
was older anyways.
Yeah, I mean position of authority. It's like assume, right?
Yeah, so there's like position, also like, age.
The
if-
hierarchy, is it?
So like
there-
yeah.
when I say age, I mean like if you go to. Actually, no, not like sometimes when you go outside, like in Indonesia, you go to like markets or something. I think sometimes you still call people by their title, even
Yeah.
though they're like
No,
the
not
same
sometimes.
age.
Like I think all the time for people you don't know.
Most times,
especially. Just say like Pak Bu, Mas.
Yeah,
Or
even
for
though
people,
they're like
for
maybe-
people you don't know, I think you don't exactly call out their names in the West. Like you can't read minds. I don't think Westerners can read minds. Like,
Yeah.
to pluck out their
But
names.
I guess, but then like I guess when they slowly become a regular in maybe like a restaurant or maybe shop, you start calling the names. I guess if they become a regular, anyways.
Actually, what
but
do
if
you
not,
call-
then yeah, there's
Like if you wanna call a waiter or something in the West, how do you call them?
we don't know.
Jerry, you went.
Excuse me, so
You want to
just
go?
call
No.
excuse me,
Excuse me.
miss, or sir.
Excuse me,
I would
miss,
say that. I would
sir.
say that.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
for people you
Excuse
don't
me, miss,
know,
sir.
no shit they're gonna use titles.
for people
what
you
the
don't
fuck-
know,
what
of
the hell
course.
are you gonna use? Hey,
Or
nigga.
like
Yeah.
read their name tag. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Name tag.
But like
That's too
even
much. That's too much work, man. That's too much work. I swear.
That's too much work, indeed.
But
tell
like,
you,
even
the
if you know
titles-
their names, you would still call them by their title sometimes,
Yeah.
or like most times, yeah.
I
Here.
guess like depend.
Yeah, and then like I swear, like when I went to America as well, like I felt like I got stared down when I said sir or ma'am. Like, Why you booing me? I'm right.
Okay, so y'all actually used to it. For some reason, I'm not used to calling people by titles. I'm used to calling people by titles as a formality, right? But like to actually call people at the titles casually, that does not come naturally to me.
I think
For some reason.
you're just a Westerner in your past life or something.
Fucking lamau. Because say with my seniors, right? I drop the fucking prefix, prefix, right? Or like title. Okay, I dropped the
Title.
I dropped the title.
Pronouns. There we go.
Not pronouns. No. I don't think those are pronouns. I don't think those are pronouns. I dropped
I think they are.
I dropped the title as soon as I get any indication that they accept anyone calling them not by their title, right? So if I see someone with my peerage, with the same rank of my peerage, say like of someone in my batch or like someone lower than my batch, call them by their direct name, and I'm not aware about any special relationship between those two. As in, like, are they in one research team, or are they like close friends or whatever? I immediately switch. Basically, I look for any excuse to switch to regular names because it's hard maintaining like title ships for me, like the title mentioning for me. Yeah.
Man, there are a lot of keywords for band today, huh?
Also, fun fact. Also, one more fun fact. Apparently, like that actually shows. It's like one more example of people here just being used to titles. I have juniors now, right? I've told my juniors so many times, please don't call me Ka. It makes me feel so old. I've told them so many times. They still keep calling me that, and I don't like them calling me that. It makes me feel old.
Too bad. Get used to it.
Call Ben.
Pak Ben.
Pak Ben.
Legitimately, I'd rather have them call my name, directly my name. I don't want to feel old.
Especially for me, well, if you do, well, yeah, I'm also being a tutor. I get called Ka a lot, so at first it kind of feels weird because like, oh god, I've never been called Ka before. It still feels so weird.
I keep
and then I
getting
just slowly
called.
got used to it.
I keep getting called Dick.
Lol.
There.
For context, listeners, Ka is for someone more senior. That is the opposite.
Someone more junior.
Junior.
If you want a more
it's
weak
like
term, it's called senpai.
You know, like senpai. No, you like the.
If you want a more weep term.
The stereotypical, I don't know, the stereotypical stern redneck. Son.
What?
Son.
Listen here,
yeah,
son. Listen here, son.
Oh yeah.
Like the military dad
Son.
trope. Son. Listen here, son. Like just
Right,
calling
moving on.
random people son. Moving on.
Oh god. Okay.
What you got there, son?
Jess, you've been quiet,
Are
and
you
I
winning,
believe
son?
you have a lot of stories. You usually have a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Let's get this
come on.
over with.
Say a lot of stories. You're very
I
silent
don't have
today.
any weird things that.
How about like the culture difference when you moved to China?
Culture difference when it's actually not much. There's not much difference because I don't know if this will be an insult, but they're more shameless than we are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's not much different. Like what you can't do here, usually they do it there. So not much culture difference. And like there, I'm living alone, right? So yeah, more freedom, I guess. But I think the most culture difference that I've ever faced is moving from middle school to high school. That's the real culture difference right there.
Oh?
Oh yeah,
Why?
yeah.
I felt that.
Explain,
I
explain.
fucking felt that.
I mean like difference of culture between schools, I guess.
I fucking
Yeah,
felt
like
that.
like in K star. You guys know, like
Yes, we know what
Our
you're
old
talking
school.
about.
like we're so protected, right? I feel protected.
Yeah, we're
as
so
all hell.
sheltered. Yeah.
Like back
Yeah.
then, when we were still actually, I was in that old school till I graduated. But like when I talked to people, it was always so surprising that students are allowed to bring phones to their school.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
Wait, you didn't get to bring phones all until graduation?
Like what?
We were
never.
still not allowed to bring phones, and then when every time that rule popped in my head, I was like, what's stopping the students?
And like if you get caught, your battery will be confiscated.
Oh, the battery. Okay.
I remember like some students hid it in their underwear.
Oh,
I remember Panson. Holy fuck, Panson.
What did he do?
Jesus
What
Christ.
did he do?
Okay. So this man made a heist. This man literally orchestrated a heist to get his phone back. So here's the thing. He brought his phone. It got confiscated, right? So then he put up a scheme for 2 to 3 days. He bought a dummy of his exact phone where the button still works with the same case and everything. And then he said to me that I'm gonna say to the teachers that this dummy is actually my real phone and that my phone I gave was actually the dummy. So they're gonna look like I'm actually a good boy, but actually not really. So I told him like I know that. I told him like that is not gonna work, son. That is just stupid, right? And he's like, just trust me, it'll work. Next day, I was with him. We confronted the teacher who confiscated his phone, and so he knocked on the teacher's room door. And then he literally, in his flattest face ever and in the most innocent tone, just says, "Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. The phone that I gave you was a dummy. Here, this is the real one. I'm sorry for my actions. I will promise never to do this again. So here you go." I was like thinking like, she's not gonna take this, right? And I don't know what happened that day. She was just like, "Oh, okay, okay. It's good of you to be honest. Okay, 1 second." He brought out his real phone, swapped it for the dummy. When the doors closed, I was just looking at him flabbergasted, like, what the fuck just happened?
What grade is this? What grade?
That was like
What grade?
in grade 11, grade 12, or we were about to
my
graduate.
God.
I think like that shows just how much adults see us as children.
Oh my god!
That just shows
I
how
gotta-
much adults see us as children. Just saying.
I'm
Oh my
applauding
god.
Oh my.
Panson.
Yeah, I was like when Panson got his real phone back, I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's why like the fucking
That's so epic.
the fucking best counter against getting your phone confiscated is being a good boy, so like you never get searched.
He literally, I don't know what kind of spirit possessed Panson that he has balls of steel to just do
I'm
that.
more surprised that it actually worked. Like what the fuck?
I know, right? He fucking rolled a natural 20 on persuasion, I swear.
Oh my god.
Man, if that still didn't work, it still would have been impressive, man.
Yeah, exactly.
His courage though, wow.
I swear, this is
He has
just like,
balls of steel.
this is what we call a legend right here.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
exactly.
Legendary.
Like, if you tell people it's so unbelievable, like people think it's a myth or it's a legend, but no,
I
it's
know, right?
Panson.
Like I even to this day, I still couldn't believe it. I still think it's a myth, but it's not because it happened right in front of my eyes.
But Ma'am Glow? Seriously? Of all people, Ma'am
Yeah,
Glow?
seriously, I'm not
think it's
joking.
very
The first,
believable, actually.
like here's the thing. The first thing we were expecting was maybe someone who wasn't like Ma'am Glow or someone else. The first thing that when Ma'am Glow appeared, I could literally see both of us literally flinched.
I feel like goodness, honesty, things that like side with quote unquote God and anything that's holy, religious things, it really appeals to her. So like that can be exploited like Panson did apparently.
Okay, so today I learned how much Ma'am Glow does not like me.
Ma'am Glow comes from the most sarcastic and burnish family I've ever met.
Why?
Is that
All of
speaking
their
from experience?
conversations are on the next level of IQ. I swear to God.
Why? How?
There are so much subtext.
Is this because you're conversing with a lot with his son, with her son?
Well, I mean, he's still a good friend, but like.
Yeah, I know. But is it because you
I
just
train
caught on?
my high IQ conversations with that family of his, you know.
Is there an example, Glenn?
I'm not too sure if I can give an example of off the top of my head, but like there's just a lot of sarcasm in that family. I'm just saying. You know how sarcasm sounds like, right? Yeah. You know.
Totally, like, wow.
Totally.
Well, I mean,
wow.
I mean, if they even have as sarcastic as the person you're referring to, yeah. Literally, I think like half the conversation is like literally sarcasm. No, like half of your conversation with like the dude is like half sarcasm. It's no joke. It's ridiculous. It's great, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But it's great, but it's ridiculous. You know.
Anyways,
you know.
Yeah, Jess, the culture shock for you from middle school to high school.
All right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Glenn, what did you say about an hour, Glenn?
Too bad.
Alright, moving on. This is for the sake of your mental sanity, Dika.
Yeah,
So like,
No,
I have
but
no control.
mine is actually pretty fast. Don't worry.
That's what they all say.
Like the culture shock is just like how wild the changes. Like you're protected in middle school, and then suddenly you're like a wild animal getting out of your cage in high
Aren't
school.
you
Yeah,
always-
that's what I felt.
That's very true.
Yeah, that's what I felt like.
Why did I not feel that? Am I just boring?
Yeah.
Jess was like Jess was just like a wild dog on a leash, and then when he went out of our old school, that leash was just released, and he just
I
went.
was like, God damn, I feel so free for some reason.
Ben, what happened to
I
you?
definitely.
I mean, I
Glenn
did the same.
agrees on this, but like on Jess feeling freedom, but you, Ben, on the other hand.
I actually felt more restrained. What the fuck? Like,
Why?
I agree that like what do you call it? Like that like
Our old school is protected.
Our old schools really protects us, right? They don't even allow us to go for competitions, right? It takes a lot of like it. Yeah, it took a lot of movement. So like if, okay. So like we're going to have one of our teachers over, right? The plan is, right? So like last I spoke with her, she was one of the she was bringing like one of the first people to actively a club that actively enters competitions. And like yeah, because like I heard from my batch as well, because like last like I met like physically met with a member of my batch. It was for a competition in my high school. They like what they call it? They signed up, right? They signed up for a competition in my high school. So like we met up and like we talked. And like apparently it took them like 2 years after I left, a year or 2 years left to establish that enough like bureaucracy or enough I don't know face or enough reputation to be allowed to consistently go out for competitions. When I was there, when I had to go for competition, it took a long ass time. I had to go to like the principal alone. I have to, like, there's like no guidance, right? There's no guidance. I just go directly to the principal and ask the principal, okay, what do I need to do? Blah 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 blah. And even then, when push comes to shove, I did not make it. I was not given permission. To be fair though, that was kind of my fault because like it was pretty close. But like point is, and even then like I remember like this that because like okay that's like for academics, like for sports kids, for the sportsy kids, I also remember them complaining not being allowed to compete. They're not even allowed to compete with like other schools.
Wait, is this in our old school or
our old
your...
school? Our old school. With
Oh
with
yeah, our old school was...
With the new school, I mean, it's a typical anime school, right? Every club exists for competitions, man.
Sometimes the weird clubs exist for no fucking reason as well.
I mean, that doesn't happen in
well,
you know, that doesn't happen.
Here,
even like the weeb club, like even
Well,
like
not officially.
not officially, sure.
Not officially.
But yeah, but like, okay, sure, we got predicament, but like, whatchamacallit? I felt there was much more social pressure, peer pressure in like, not just peer pressure, like peer pressure from the peers, of course, and like much more pressure from the teachers as well. Like there's a much more rigid social structure.
Sure. I mean, I think this just comes with high school and you having more responsibilities. You're
All right.
more lucid to your responsibilities.
Fair.
Yeah,
Maybe
might be that.
Maybe because of that, that I didn't feel this freedom, because like I didn't feel freed. Like I mean, yeah, that's why I actually felt more restrained.
I feel like that's just because like you're even in the competition side, you're in the academic side where like I can like go out of class for weeks at a time for like theater.
Yeah,
Well, to
I
be
mean,
fair,
I'm also in the-
I do skip class for more class.
Yeah, that's like,
Oh my god!
So that's
My high school was, I mean, it's not boring. Again, I've mentioned this ago. That was the happiest days of my life. Those were the happiest days of my life. I mean, of my high school days. Those are the memorable days, not like
that's
the regular
actually
days.
no joke, no joke.
like high school, having student councils, having like extracurricular activities. Those were the
See,
freedoms.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I played video games, I watched TV series, and I was just like, is this just my school? Like, they have clubs, they have extra activities, they hang out
I
in
know,
school.
right? I know, right?
I was
Honestly,
like,
high school was the, how to say it, was the cycle of my life in which I really did not care about electronics. It's
Really?
like it's like
That's
I
interesting.
felt free even without my laptop or my phone.
Really?
How do you play
me
games?
too,
Sometimes,
actually.
but for line, but for like only social medias, not like games
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
anything.
Ah,
Like high school was filled with me playing basketball, doing student council stuff, and then going to malls, going here and there, wasting money.
Wasting money.
Yes, Lord.
Oh my god.
Huh, okay. Y'all
Those were the
weird.
feeling of freedoms, like for me. Even though, like, I don't know, I think I studied less in high school. Still get pretty decent
I studied the
results.
least definitely in high school, I feel
Yeah,
like.
in high school studied least, definitely.
I think I was more intense in high school than in uni.
Yeah, because your competitions are also in studying.
No, like the other side, like curriculum. Like, do you not like study for like tests and shit? Because like I felt like
Well,
high
I
school-
do, but like, what you
Yeah,
call
but
it?
it's like the night before the test. That's what we all do. The night before the test, you just cram it all in.
You
oh my
The next
god.
day, you do it, and then you forget everything.
Not me.
I feel like high school and uni workloads are about the same, like academically.
No.
Yes, sure.
What do you mean?
For me,
Uni
definitely
is not
yes.
as bad as high school.
I feel like
I
uni is
agree.
easier even. Like,
I mean, okay.
Uni is
uni
more
is-
relaxed, yeah.
Uni is harder than high school. What do you mean?
No.
Uni is so much easier that I can afford to go to 4 organizations on top of my academics.
I feel like, for me at least, because like I like we come from the same school, me and Ben. The first 2 years were definitely easier because like they're sort of like focused on the academics, right? But like once it got into the practicals of stuff, where we got to get like do more of the nitty gritty of like the profession, it definitely ramped up, and that was when I felt, wow, this is way different than school. But
The
I feel like
practicals were the easy part. What do you mean?
throughout the sort of like schooling environment, even though it was easier, I was definitely in the mindset more of like, okay, I'm here to study, I'm here to learn, I'm here for my profession, instead of like, I'm here to fuck around, in high school. The workload might be the same, but the feeling was different.
Yeah, like especially like for me, I've got the experience to go abroad, and that makes me like more pressured.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
especially like I really don't like what I'm studying right now. I really hate it so much.
Seriously?
But I just want
Okay.
to know.
Hope you find your path.
Yeah.
It's not actually that I hate it. I'm just like, why should I be doing this?
He's not.
Yeah.
You're not interested. You're not interested, basically.
Yeah.
I just feel like, what you call it, for university, you know that you're there to study, but like for high school, you're there to, fuck around. So even though the workload was sort of even harder than university sometimes.
Maybe for you guys,
I felt
the high school
really-
workload might be much, but for me, like, I feel like my high school with my university, like, university is like, okay, you do this report, submit next week. Okay, you do this, okay, you do this. While high school is just this homework. Oh, yeah. 1 hour, 2 hours, done.
Now, for me, there was this one class, it was mathematics, where like we had to do, it was university level work, I tell you. It's mathematics, but we all ended up just like copying one dude, so like, it doesn't matter anyway.
I actually did that shit myself, man. What do you mean?
Yeah, you suck.
I also have two math class in high school. Like, one is the compulsory math, and one is the IPA math. Like, there's two different maths. But they're still like manageable. Like, you have tons of friends to discuss with, and like, oh yeah, this and that. But in university, it's like, I don't know, maybe because I'm going abroad, so there's not much like Indo friends that I can really ask, and like some too high IQ people are too stingy.
No, for me also, like, I feel like I feel way guiltier if I just copy someone's work in university because I'm like the mindset is already different. But like, in high school, even though the workload was so much, but like you could have just like copied everyone's homework, no problem.
Honestly,
at least that's what I felt.
I feel like
you know.
in high school, everything you do is done in a day. Homework done that day. Like, you don't need to care
true,
about
true.
it the next day. But university is like everything is long term.
Yeah,
You need to think
that's what
about
I
it every
feel
day.
like also.
You wake up, oh man, there's this.
You wake up, no one's gonna remind you to do your homework, man. Like if you don't do your homework, you fail out.
Well, school
class.
is just 6:30. You go to school and then like yeah, math class, 4 hours
Crazy,
of math
yeah.
class. Yeah, let's go on with this. Let's get it over with.
Okay, I think like my high school was just really because like people are stingier in high school than in fucking uni.
Now we have the same high school, and
I know, but
that's
they're
still
different
my
batches.
opinion.
We're in different batches, Glenn. Like my batch were like they were stingy, like especially compared to the high school, right? Like no one holds back answers. Like I can ask, like again, I can ask only for like an answer that I want to copyright for like this one question that I don't even care for. And then like they called me and like they get okay, so do you want to call? Like I can explain this. Shit, what kind of fucking person is that? It's like the first time this happens. It's like mind blowing.
Not like me, like the me in high school. Like, hey, can I ask for this homework? I think I did most of it myself, but the hard questions, yeah, just teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
The only thing that I remembered from high school math was me, Rafi, and if I don't know, Wilson copying our math answers from JS.
It's middle school, I think. Middle school math was not that hard, but high school math was different.
High school
do you
math
mean
was
not
a
that
whole
hard?
different beast.
I mean, relatively
Like
right.
the first year
relatively
of high
speaking.
school was still easy because I think we learned. My syllabus in high school, like first year in high school, I think I've learned it in the third year of middle school, like the factorization and things. So kind of felt it was pretty easy. But second year and third year,
Ew.
oh,
Yeah. Holy
those
shit.
are new.
Okay, that I can agree with.
And also, I think I'm pretty calm since like my English and Chinese class are below average levels, like in comparison to our middle school, which
Yeah.
is really, really insane
level,
on
yeah.
language levels.
It is an
I heard,
international
yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, what is this English questions? Why are you studying future tense, past tense,
I
past
know, right?
continuous?
I know,
I studied
right?
tenses for three years straight. It's just the only things that we studied.
I
And,
know,
and the
right?
Chinese lessons were like, try to introduce yourself. Like, what?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's why I think I felt a bit calmer in high school and like more freedom for me to do. And like the last time I have at home, since I can say that I'm very lonely at home. So the last time I was at home, the more I feel freedom. Yeah, the culture shock actually hits me like a truck.
Okay. No offense, but
I
y'all
don't think I
weird.
can go back to the life I had in middle school. Not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, middle school was so long ago.
Middle school so long ago.
Middle school was like such a long time ago.
High school was so long ago if you think about it. 4 years.
I mean,
Well, for you it's 2 years, but like
2 years.
You know.
Fair.
All right. That all from you, Jess.
Yeah.
Next, Natasha.
I don't really have anything. I mean, you guys already provided quite a lot.
Also, you are in the UK right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the culture shock. I think not for me personally. I don't really have any problems adjusting because
Also, there's like the pandemic, right? So like you don't go out a lot.
yeah,
either.
exactly.
But were there any like culture shocks?
I mean, no, I don't really have much culture shock. I read quite a lot of fanfic, so I already know what to expect, and most of the
Okay.
Do you guys wear like shoes, sandals, footwear inside in your place right now?
My flatmates, right now, I mean, I do for like the common area, but I take off my footwear in my room. I don't know about other people because we have our separate rooms.
But like the footwear is for inside, indoor, in the house footwear, or is it from outside?
Okay, I don't really pay attention, but I think some of my flatmates wear footwear from outside, although I would wear my indoor slippers when I go to the common room.
That's not much different from dorm rooms in Indonesia. Just saying.
Yeah, it's not that different.
Not even that different. It's not different. Period. That's how like.
Oh, in accordance to this, Korean culture shock for me. Like, in my mind, I've always had the imagination that Koreans, Japanese, and those kinds of people have really hygienic life. But instead, they proved me wrong.
Really? Not
Yeah,
even
they
the
usually Koreans
Japanese, the Koreans.
in their dorms, like since I have a lot of Korean friends and like students, right? They just go into their room like, oh, I'm so tired. They just sleep with their shoes like, huh?
What?
Oh, that is so weird.
That
Holy
is
shit.
Oh, no, what?
barbaric.
That is
Their room
barbaric.
is really, really
shit,
bad,
come
not gonna
on.
lie.
What the fuck?
Come on.
Come on, man.
No, maybe some Koreans. I'm not saying all Koreans, but I don't know, man. It's like most of my
Why would you do
most
that?
of my friends, Korean friends, they're just like, man, yeah, you can clean your room later. They suddenly just use shoes going in. Like I was like, is it okay for me to use shoes? Yeah,
Oh, that is
yeah,
so
go
weird.
on.
Oh my god.
Weird, man. I fucking sleep on the floor for like several nights, several times, just because I was too lazy to take a shower. And like this is in the context of
oh my
me
God.
having a housemate to actually clean my room. I didn't have to like change my sheets
And not
myself.
only Koreans, Chinese too. Yeah.
What
so.
the hell?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Even like when I had like a housemate to change my sheets, right? I didn't do that. I slept on the floor when I was dirty.
Imagine like going from outside with all the snow piling up below your shoes and it gets wet. Then you just barge in the room like,
So it's kind of muddy as well. Well, not.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's really
like
dirty.
it's like
Brown.
yeah.
Ew.
So I guess it's safe to say whether it be Westerners or Asians, there are some there are
there's
some
still
people
some.
who just do that.
Y'all disgusting.
Y'all disgusting.
And also Koreans about their bathing issues. There's so many hairs. I fucking hate bathroom with so many hairs.
Oh, you're gonna hate my bathroom. My hair falls easily.
You're gonna hate my bad. Oh yeah,
There's like
Dika,
literally
yeah.
like the bathroom is not like a bathtub or like there's a specific space for you to take a bath. It's like the closet, the washing, and the wastafel,
Shower.
whatever you
The
call
sho-
it. And the shower. Everything is piled into one. So if hair falls, it's gonna be everywhere. And then when you take a poop, you're gonna see hair. I am annoyed.
What the fuck? Okay, I'm glad I don't have that problem in my home.
I mean, even if I have hair problems, like my hair is long, I usually like pile them up, then just throw them. But people don't do that.
Sometimes, like, my hair falls usually, like, of course, when showering, right? But like it goes to the drainage part.
It's fine if it goes to the drain, but if it's everywhere, like Like in the washing table, even in the closet, there's hair.
Oh no. They have a hair problem.
What?
Yeah, that person has a hair
I
problem.
don't think that's periods, man. I think that's just
like most Koreans, they really take care of their hair. Like they hair dry it. But the bathroom is
I recommend
Hairy.
L'Oreal.
also, like in my early days of like being abroad. Like I've got a Korean roommate. In 1 week, I told the door manager, "Can I move, please?
Wow.
Get me out!" And actually, they let me in with the Indonesian master degree student, who's never really in the room. So I felt really nice. Got the
that's
whole room
bad.
to myself. Yeah, just a big no. The hairs. Ugh.
The hairs are too much for you, huh?
Yeah, Natasha.
Yeah. What else?
If there's nothing else, it's fine.
No. I
Yeah,
need
nothing
prompts.
else.
I need prompts.
Yeah,
Usually I just
like
start.
Ben has a lot of prompts already so far.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, keyword based.
Yeah,
We don't think, we
most
react.
of the time, I'm already prepared because I read fanfics and the authors are usually Western.
Oh no, culture shock about how clean the place is.
Oh, yeah, how clean it is, right? I should not talk about this too loudly, I'm afraid they'll hear. But like, sometimes my flatmates have these parties. I don't know why they party during the pandemic, but yeah, they party, and they party really, really loud. And like, they are very, gross in a way, like they don't throw away the used beer cans, the bottles, and it's like all over the place. I will send you guys the video later on. It's just
And here we thought Indonesians were bad.
No, honestly speaking, Indonesians are still pretty clean.
yeah,
That
they are.
I
they are.
realized.
Okay, as much I'll give where credit is due. Where Indonesians, at least they still throw away stuff when they don't use it
Yes.
anymore.
No, the
These
worst.
guys just leave them around.
The
What
worst part is they don't clean up spilt beer, so when it's dry, it gets very sticky. And actually, my slipper snapped because it was so sticky and it got stuck.
What the fuck? So that
Okay,
so the last time you sent a photo of your snapped slippers, that was because of the floor?
Yes.
Nah, bro, I don't like where this is going.
No,
It's
no.
freaking disgusting, and they don't really take out the trash unless I told them to. So like I'm basically the
nasty.
mom friend in this flat.
Hell to
And
the
like
law.
I guess what I really hate is that they don't really throw away their used masks, so it's just lying around the common area.
No.
What
So,
the
like,
fuck?
Whenever I go
Biohazard.
out now, I wear mask. So because I don't want to get like COVID from them or whatever. I
Oh,
don't
you're
know
smart.
if
You're
they
very
have
smart.
COVID, but I'm just being careful. Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, I cannot talk too loud for
barbarians,
that.
I swear. Fucking barbarians.
And that is just totally irresponsible.
That is
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah, exactly. It was just so. It's just driving me crazy.
I mean, doing
But,
that
like,
in a
yeah.
bar or in the club, it's pretty fine, but not in your room, bro. Come on.
Exactly. Not in the common room. It's shared. They should know.
Like, imagine that's your house. You just like put beer everywhere. It's gonna rack up trash, and then your house is just gonna be a big old trash can. It's not nice.
Yeah. At one point, I just got tired telling them, so like I just leave their mess. I don't bother cleaning it up, and I just, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to wash my dishes in my room, which I did. I mean, I have my own dish soap now.
But you have a bathroom, like personal bathroom?
Yeah. Thank
okay.
God I do. Thank God I do, because I don't want to share a bathroom with like people like those.
God, just hearing about it just makes my skin crawl. Ugh.
It's so nasty, I swear. Like compared to like
It's so nasty.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I say that, but then my room is dusty. But at least now I try to dust off and like clean any dust from my room. I have a lint roller now, so I have no excuse to not clean my room.
There's a difference between
Dusty's
messy and
okay.
dirty.
Like messy,
No,
Yeah.
dusty.
I can't live in a dusty room. I'm gonna get allergic. So no.
True.
Yeah,
Me
yeah,
too.
as
Me
well.
too.
You when you had your sleepover at my place, my room was pretty dusty, and you're still
No,
fine.
but it was still fine. It's not that dusty. Like if your things is dusty, I don't really care. But if the overall is dusty,
Oh yeah, the
then I
dust in
care.
the air, is it?
Yeah. But if it's like in your shelf, if it's dusty, I don't.
I mean,
pretty much.
I mean, if the dust settles, then it's not going to be much of a problem, I guess.
But if it flies around, oh.
Don't
Yeah.
have it like an abandoned house where like when you open the door, all the dust flies around.
That is my room. That is literally my room if I don't clean it in a week.
I mean, yeah, because your window is pretty stuck like indoors, right?
Mm-hmm. I do not know why I have indoor windows. That is so weird.
So that you can view the outside wall.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's where the dust piles up from.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if you live in a clean country, that's a good idea. But like, you know,
Anyways, Natasha, anything else?
I think I do have a favorite culture difference. In the grocery store, we have like this self-serve checkout thingy. So you don't have to queue and you don't have to interact with the cashier or with people
Oh, yeah.
in general.
Yeah, less
I
social
love that.
interaction.
Yeah, it's much better. I like that.
those must be nice.
Yeah, that's really nice. But I think that's it from me.
Okay, Ben, is there anything you would like to add
To what?
to this episode? Yeah, it's your turn now.
I don't know. I guess like, culture. I guess like uni. I guess like I just expand on the uni thing and on the entire why I felt high school was so oppressive, even compared to uni, for example. I don't know. So people in uni, they're much more open. They're warmer. Like if that makes sense. Like I like you could say like maybe you could, and like it's not like I didn't make an effort to socialize either in high school. I made the exact same effort to socialize both in high school and in uni. That is to say, none at all. But like people in uni were just like they're much more aggressive with their socializing, and they're much more they're like aggressive, but they're not like they're aggressive, but they're not oppressive with their socialization.
Aggressive how?
As in like they befriended me hard, if that makes sense.
What do you mean? Can
Okay.
you
What do
explain?
you mean by that? There's always a
Befriended you
catch when you
hard.
say something.
They actually really try to socialize and be friends with you.
Yeah, but at the same time, they also get the fact that I am introverted as fuck, which like, do you know like the respect you have with a
So
cat?
they're just doing it in a way where it's like they're poking you with a stick.
Do you know like the respect like when you have a cat that doesn't like to be touched?
Oh yeah. That's the best part about uni. Honestly, I love people because of that.
Yeah, like they but at the same time they don't
understand.
like they don't ignore me either too, right?
Yeah. They just don't force you. That's the best
I
thing.
still want attention. I still want to get invited out to things. Like okay, not even out to things, I guess. Like, but yeah, just like be friendly. Yeah, the general and like even then and okay, and then like if that's like in the context of social, like even like in the context of like say copying answers, right? People in uni are much more generous. Like I don't know what you talk. What's wrong with your uni, man? Like people in my uni, they're very generous with their work. Oh, you want to copy this? Okay, sure. Here, just make sure to change it up enough. Oh, you to understand this? Okay, let me spend like 20 minutes of my own time to teach you this one concept. Where like in high school, like if I ask for answers, like okay, here's why. Like say I ask for like answers, through line, right, or whatever, through line or whatever. Usually, if the deadline's tomorrow, I'm gonna get the answer like tomorrow morning. So like the only time I copy is like when I'm not done in the morning. I can just approach the person directly. Hey, can I have your answer? That way, that guy can't like reject me, right? I mean, he can, but like he can't ignore me. He must answer like yes or no, right? Yes or no. Otherwise, it's not worth trying to get an answer, or even trying to get an explanation, because it should take like 2 or 3 days to get an explanation for one question. But like in uni, it's like almost instant, man. Hey, I don't understand this part. Can you explain it to me? Okay, sure. 20. Give me a second though. I need to finish this work. I'll call you in a bit and then explain. Just much more generous with everything, really. That's positive culture shock for once.
I think it's also because like there's the mentality where we're all in this together, we're all in the same boat kind of mentality, so kind of like have to help each other, you know. But like in high school, it's like the social hierarchy is a bit different, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
That's definitely true. There's like much stronger camaraderie. It's like it's like in high school, if you don't graduate, oh well. But here, if you don't graduate, it reflects badly on all of us. In uni, right? If you don't graduate, especially in medicine, I don't know other. I can't say for like other majors, but like I feel like in medicine especially, like the camaraderie is like it's strong naturally, sure, but it's also reinforced by the thing, right? The fact that like if one of you fails, all of us fail. Like, it reflects badly on all of us. It's natural again. Yeah. There might also be the fact that like just like getting into medicine just filters people. So like as in like the types of people that want to go to medicine and actually get into medicine are so like similar that like they just click naturally anyways.
I feel like that goes for, I can say for engineering, that's also like more or less the same. We're just like the same type of people, but this time the types of people that go into engineering are the practical, sort of straight-minded people. We still like gather together, we still like answer questions and whatnot, and we still like sort of like get together to like discuss like academics. But for the part where like, oh, if you fail, like we failed you, nah. Like for me, it's like if you fail, then like you didn't pull your own weight, you know.
I mean, to a certain extent, of course, like if a guy is obviously not like studying or like not even a thing. But again, I told you like we have a system of we have a formal system of tutoring within like my batch.
No, we do too.
And like a formal system of cheating, I guess.
Yeah, we do too. But
up to the point where like you get fined. You get fined if you don't fulfill the responsibility, and you lose access to your cheat sheet if you also don't fulfill responsibility. Like that's how formalized it is, right? But so like it's not the medicine being a filter. It's just I don't know my batch or like, it's
the
just
same sort of people. I feel like are just put inside the same profession, especially in university. So like you just attract the same types of people in the batch.
Sure, but like that doesn't explain like like the sudden jump in camaraderie.
Well, I mean that does explain the just sudden jump in camaraderie because now suddenly you're with the same types of people.
And like the difference between camaraderie between engineers and medical students.
Well, not really. I don't see that camaraderie honestly. I mean between professions, not really, but like inside professions, definitely. I feel that stronger bond.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's all I can add. Yeah. There's too many prompts for me already.
And if you still have something you have prepared that you want to share,
I prepared nothing. Have you learned nothing so far? I have never prepared anything. I always go in prompt based.
it was worth a shot.
Come on, Dika, it's long enough for you. Don't torture yourself like this.
Hey, I can still try.
Dika. I don't want 2 hours of videos. Also, Dika, have a chance to talk, man.
There is a rare opportunity where both our interests line up.
Just want to make sure everyone gets everything out.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. God, if Rafi joined in, I would be more dead than I already am. Cultures and traditions, it has swerved to different kind of discussion I had in mind. But it's great. Like we see cultures and traditions from a different perspective in this episode instead of being like country, family, religion, those kinds of things, we go into more personal things like schools, moving places, things like that. So, but it still falls under, the different cultures and traditions of different places as well. So thank you guys for sharing your stories, sharing your experiences. And of course, thank you for the listeners who listen.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yay!
To nearly 2 hours again.
Danke schön.
Thank you for keeping up with our bullshit, man.
Danke
Yes.
Truly. And of course, if you want to share your own, it will be interesting to listen to people's stories about this as well. So if you want to share your own, of course, you can contact us through yada yada yada. It's all in the description and the outro. So yeah, thank you and goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Feliz Navidad.
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I'll put links to the music in the show notes. And as always, if you want to share your story, just say hi, or even be our guest, you can reach us on Instagram at NotOurPodcast, on Twitter at NotOurPodcast1, that's the number 1, or you can email us on nop.progress@gmail.com. That's nop.progras@gmail.com. I'll also list it in the show notes below. And if you like this podcast, you can share it with your friends. I would be very grateful for that. Thank you and have a great life.